Okay, do you remember that video I made not even that long ago, discussing whether we should be hyped for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies or not? And I was saying it might not be real. Well, the leaks were right. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies has officially been confirmed by Call of Duty to be in Modern Warfare 3. It seems like Charlie Intel and other leakers were right about this, as a lot of people, including myself, were very skeptical whether or not this would be a real thing or not. And look where we are. It's real. And this video is going to go over everything we know so far and everything that you need to know going into Modern Warfare 3 Zombies as of right now, because this mode is definitely not what any of us were expecting. Leaks rumored that this was going to be an Outbreak style mode, and that's true to a certain extent, but this is actually more of an Outbreak / DMZ hybrid mode, and it's not strictly 100% like Outbreak, and it's not strictly 100% like DMZ. It seems as though the developers want this to coexist with each other, these two modes to fuse together. It takes the Outbreak form of zombies being in this open world, and it seems like there's going to be activities to do within the map, and that's where the Outbreak style part of it adds its own ingredients into the pot, and the DMZ part is the overall gameplay loop where you're going to go in, get loot, try not to die, and then extract from the map you're in. It says you'll be able to carry things over for the next game, once again much like the same vein as DMZ, but what's even crazier is it's going to have, apparently, and this is very controversial, and let me add, not the only controversial thing about this mode, there's a few things coming up that is making people start to sharpen their pitchforks. So our first controversial change here is that they are adding AI humans, like the ones in DMZ I'm guessing. I don't know what else they could do, but these are only going to be on the outskirts of the map, which probably sounds weird, but the way this DMZ Outbreak hybrid thing is working, and get ready for this bombshell, players will drop into a match that has a total of 24 players, and these are going to be divided into 6 squads of 4, and presumably you're going to spawn on the outskirts of the map. This is another controversial thing coming up. You will have a 60-minute time limit, 1 hour to be able to do whatever it is you need to do, get whatever it is you can, or find whatever it is you're looking for, before you're forced to extract as the playable area gets smaller and smaller, kind of like how DMZ has the gas coming in, except with this, I'm not sure if it's gas, I think it might be something else, but same thing. And the closer you go to the middle, the harder and it seems to be the more frequent zombies are. And the enemy soldier AI that, yes, will shoot back at you, seem to only be able to stay on the outside because it's too dangerous closer to the center. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be too heavily integrated into this mode. They're not going to be this huge part of it. I think it might just serve to help maybe get a gun if you can melee one of them, or kill one of these soldiers in some way and you can pick up a gun. Or maybe equipment if they drop it, I'm not sure. Regardless, it's too dangerous in the middle. They should hopefully stay out of it and be more of a very small side enemy, which if they do that, I'll be fine with it, but that's only if they're going to be a very minimal enemy and they're not going to be too OP like they were at the beginning of DMZ, because that was brutal and it was really annoying, so I can't imagine it with zombies and everything like that. It would be way too chaotic and honestly really unfun to play. And a way this game is progressed by the looks of it, this mode moves forward, is going to be with what I've heard called a 3-act story. So I'm gonna guess maybe this is something to do with you go into one match, you do everything you need to do, you do the main objective as well if you want, and once that's done, that is the first act of the story. And then this concept basically carries over the next 2 times. I feel like these are going to be similar to the faction missions which are in DMZ, where there's smaller quests you can do, but then there's one big one that'll progress things. A 60-minute time limit is a really weird one, because on the one hand, it's good that you're being pressured to do what you need to do because of the storm coming in, like that is just a core gameplay loop of DMZ, but also I'm personally more for taking your time like in Outbreak. You have all the time in the world to explore the map, go out and kill a few zombies if you want to get some more points, buy a perk, and then maybe go and tackle that order boss fight you weren't fully prepared for. In this, I don't know if it's going to be more you spawn in, oh no, I've got like 10 minutes to try and find this secret that I thought I had a lead on, or I've only got got this amount of time to really look around before I have to finish the rest of the match, go back to the menu, go in again, and then try and explore more. I just don't know how they're gonna do it, but I also do understand that, once again, DMZ works because it has a time limit. It puts that pressure on you, and that's kind of the point. For me personally, like I've said, I am just more for having that freedom of time, you know, there's no time constraints, which is one reason I enjoyed Outbreak. If this works for the mode, then we'll have to wait and see. I understand why people are getting upset about this one, because I'm skeptical about it myself, and really curious to see how this one, along with the human AIs, is gonna play out. And all of this, instead of reasonably sized maps like Outbreak, is actually gonna be one huge map from the looks of things. Think along the lines of Al Mazrah, maybe a bit smaller. There's a thing called schematics coming into this, where whilst you're in game, if you can grab a schematic for a certain weapon, it seems, and then you exfil with it safely, that schematic can be crafted for the next time you go into the zombie outbreak. Apparently it's going to be on a cooldown, so you can't just spam it all the time, and that's going to be a weird system. It's going to be interesting to see how that works and if it gels with bringing things into the match. I imagine it's going to be the exact same as DMZ, where you have an insured weapon, which is a custom one you make, but instead of that, it's actually going to be one that you find and then craft later on, but then you can use it as much as you want. That's just my guess though. Now, something that DMZ does have is PvP, and something that Outbreak has is PvE only. This mode is taking the Outbreak approach, and it's going to be PvE only, so you're not going to have to worry about some player using hacks or trickshotting you into oblivion. So I think the PvE combined with the 24 players in total in a match might make for some interesting events or Easter egg hunts, or as Activision have said, secrets. They're very vague about that, so I'm not sure if it's going to be full-blown Easter egg quests or if it's just going to be intel. With how vague and with how coy they're acting about this, it really could range between those two things. This is going to have core zombies features. This includes perks, pack-a-punch, a ray gun, your ammo depots, buy stations, wall buys, and mystery boxes. Basically the stuff from Cold War. They're going to be in the game, so thank you so much, Activision, for giving us Call of Duty Zombies in Call of Duty Zombies. But at least we are getting that stuff back. It's a step up from Vanguard. Apparently this big map, this huge expansive map, which I think is just going to end up being the Warzone map, is going to have its own zombies feel, its own zombies aesthetic and atmosphere. I really hope that's true, because criticism I have with Outbreak in Cold War is that it doesn't exactly feel like the dark ether and all the creatures and zombies from it are spilling out into this world and taking it over. I'm hoping that we get some good sights and sounds that make this feel like a COD Zombies experience. And speaking of a COD Zombies experience, it wouldn't be one without a good story, right? Well, the story seems very basic for this. All signs are pointing towards it not being a continuation from the end of Cold War, although it is going to be a Treyarch zombie story. And that's because Treyarch are developing it themselves. Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward are taking the campaign and multiplayer. Treyarch have been left to the zombies, which now means they've been pulled from their studio again, and instead of putting all of their time and resources and energy into COD 2024, whatever it is they're cooking up there, now they're having to do what they did with Vanguard, except it seems like there's a lot more of the team actually going over to do this zombies experience, and it's actually under Kevin Drew's lead. He's the associate director of design at Treyarch and played a big part in Zombies. He seems to be a pretty talented guy, so this is immediately a step up from what we had with Vanguard, where it was allegedly under 10% of the team. And that's what's shining some positivity on a lot of these controversial changes and just how confusing and uncertain this game mode comes across as. I am praying that this isn't gonna really badly affect Treyarch's game next year in 2024, because they're having to be pulled in again to another studio's COD game and work on the zombies again, which now seems like it's going to take even more away from their studio, and it means less work can be put into it. I'm wanting this to not affect their vision, but that's one of those things we're going to have to wait until 2024 to really see. As I was saying earlier, this is a Treyarch zombie storyline, but it's set in the Modern Warfare universe, or at least it's going to have that Modern Warfare style, but the Modern Warfare universe and the Dark Ether story that Treyarch are doing for Cold War is in the same universe, so this is going to feel more like a separate story within this universe than it is going to feel like a continuation and a big pivotal point for the zombie story, like for example if it was set after Cold War. And picking up from the evil cliffhanger that really gave us some suspense where we left off with. The basic run of the story here is going to be that Ethereum is being weaponized by a different faction, and we are going to be a task force sent in to stop that, named Deadbolt. And it seems like that's where the 3-act story is going to take effect. I'm just concerned that with this 3-act story they're doing, once that finishes, is that going to be it? Is there going to be zero replayability after that? And that's something that's worrying a lot of people, and I really get where that's coming from because it is worrying me. I want there to be plenty of replayability, just like what Zombies has always been about. Except for you, Vanguard. You are not replayable. And that's everything we know right now and everything you need to know about this elusive Modern Warfare 3 Zombies mode. I'm very confused about this game mode. It feels more like it's 30% Outbreak and 70% DMZ. I kinda can see what they're going for, but then there's things that are gonna be really concerning, like the time limit. How is that gonna work? The map being the Warzone map and not its own map from the ground up, and this formula of it being more DMZ than anything. Personally, I like DMZ, although Activision are slowly but surely ruining it, as I've said before. But I'm just not sure how this is really going to play out, and it's one of those where I'll never be able to tell properly until it comes out and we get to see it fully. I don't know how replayable this is going to be. I don't know if the AI humans are going to be annoying, if the time limit's going to be a huge problem. And I made a tweet, shocking I know, saying that the more I find out about this game mode and the more I learn about it, with all of the newer information that's coming out, the more confused I am. It's hard to tell which direction they want to go, and overall I'm worried, but I'm also curious. I do like DMZ and I do like Outbreak, and of course if it wasn't obvious enough, I love Call of Duty Zombies. So whatever's between a W and an L, that's kind of where I'm sat right now. My impressions are it's going to be better than Vanguard, but worse than Cold War. I can't be the judge of that though. It might come out and it might actually be surprisingly good, or it might be worse than Vanguard. We don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If you enjoyed or found this informative, be sure to smash the like button. Comment your thoughts on this down below. I really want to know what you are all thinking in regards to this Modern Warfare 3 Zombies mode. Are you feeling great about it? Are you feeling low down about it? Or are you somewhere in between like me? Because I seriously can't tell which way they want to take this. Or comment on the Twitter post I made if you want. The link to my Twitter is in the description. But regardless of where you do it, I just want to hear how you're feeling about this. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, you won't regret it, and turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.